Today we have something massive to talk about, something that could literally reshape the entire MCU as we know it. Again, a brand new report has just dropped, and it's about Doctor Strange 3. What I'm about to tell you not only changes everything we thought we knew about the film, it might actually change the very future of the MCU itself. We're talking confirmed early development, major creative shifts, Benedict Cumberbatch's increased involvement, when to expect the movie, and, the biggest part, why this film might secretly be the single most important project of the upcoming saga, and I don't say that lightly. So grab a snack, hit that like button, and stick around until the end. The latest report comes from a source that has actually broken legit MCU scoops before. They claim that Doctor Strange 3 is officially in early active development, not talks, not ideas, not Marvel considering it. Early, active, development. That wording matters. Now, Marvel hasn't announced anything publicly yet, and if you followed Marvel long enough, you know they keep things locked down until their timeline says otherwise. But the insiders are very confident about this one. And the big twist, this movie is not filming anytime soon. Not this year, not next year, not even right after Avengers Doomsday. Their sources say the movie begins production after Avengers, Secret Wars finishes filming. Let's talk about the Benedict Cumberbatch of it all, because the report also says Benedict Cumberbatch himself is taking a bigger role behind the scenes. Not just starring in it, and actually helping shape who writes it and who directs it. That is rare for MCU actors unless the studio really trusts them. We're talking about a potential new director, new writer, and a creative direction that may be nothing like what was originally planned. Marvel basically just threw those old plans out the window. Another big question is why Doctor Strange 3 is after Secret Wars. This right here is where things get wild. Why would Marvel wait until after Secret Wars to even start production? At first glance, that seems strange. No pun intended, because Strange is one of the few characters still carrying the franchise. But here's the bombshell. Doctor Strange is going to be one of the only characters who remembers the old MCU after the multiversal reset. Let me repeat that. After Secret Wars resets the MCU, a new universe, new continuity, new everything. Doctor Strange is going to remember the old one. That makes him unbelievably important going forward. Kevin Feige already said Secret Wars is a reset. The Russo brothers said Secret Wars is a new beginning, meaning the MCU we know now. And what comes next is a brand new unified universe combining the MCU, the Fox X-Men universe, the Fantastic Four universe, maybe even Sony's multiverse strands, and possibly other Marvel timelines, all fused together into one prime universe. And guess who's left to explain how all of this works? Dr. Stephen Strange. This is why his movie comes after Secret Wars. He is the bridge. He's the one character who knows the history of the old universe and must navigate the rules of the new one that has insanely good storytelling potential. Just imagine Strange walking through a world where mutants always existed, where the Fantastic Four have a different origin, where timelines crash together, where heroes he once knew have new memories, or even new identities, and he's the only one who knows it all changed. Marvel doesn't want that story overshadowed by Secret Wars hype. They want it after, when audiences are ready to process the new MCU. Let's talk about this new universe for a moment, based on everything Marvel has hinted at, and based on how similar events work in comics. Here's the general idea. When Secret Wars ends, the MCU will merge multiple universes into one cohesive timeline, and for the people living inside that new universe, they won't remember anything being different. Their history will feel like it's always been that way. For example, mutants won't feel like newcomers. They won't remember being in a separate universe. In their eyes, they've always been part of the same world as the Avengers. Same with the Fantastic Four. Same with any characters Marvel brings over. This approach instantly solves 20 years of rights issues and lets Marvel combine everything without retcon headaches, lets new characters blend seamlessly, and lets Marvel reboot without deleting the past. Somebody inside the story has to remember the truth. the original universe, the struggle, the sacrifices, the history, and the person best suited for that is Doctor Strange, the man who already deals with reality, memory, time, and the consequences of both. It makes perfect sense. And narratively, it gives the MCU an anchor, a character who can confirm that everything we watched for the last decade still matters. Not erased, not forgotten, just evolved. So let's connect the dots. The universe resets. Most characters forget the old version. Strange remembers everything. Now he must navigate and protect the rules of this new merged reality. This sets up Doctor Strange 3 as something much bigger than a normal sequel. This film becomes the guidebook for how the new MCU functions, the explanation for canon changes, the bridge between old fans and new viewers, the kickoff for the mutant saga, and possibly the introduction of entirely new cosmic or dimensional threats that only exist because of the merge. Strange's film will be the first to really dissect the fallout of Secret Wars. Think of it like how Iron Man 2008 explained the world after the superhero boom, except this time it's Strange explaining a newly rewritten world. That's why this movie is so important. That's why it comes after Secret Wars. And that's why Benedict Cumberbatch is being placed at the center of Marvel's new long-term plan. But now let's talk villains, because the possibilities here are insane. When the universes merge, it won't just be heroes blending together, the villains merge too. And with Strange remembering the pre-reset world, he'll immediately recognize when something or someone doesn't belong. Here are the top possibilities. 1. A villain who never existed in the old MCU, someone completely new to Strange, now native to the new universe. This is exciting because Marvel can debut a major cosmic or mystical villain without needing a backstory that ties to the old timeline. 2. A returning villain changed by the merge. Dormammu is a prime candidate for this. A new universe could bring a more dangerous version of him, or even a multiversal variant fused with different forms. 3. A villain who slipped in from a destroyed universe. Secret Wars leaves worlds collapsing. What if someone jumped into the new reality as it was forming? Imagine a villain who remembers everything too, just like Strange, but uses that knowledge for conquest. 4. A threat caused directly by the merging of universes. When timelines collide, things break, laws of magic change, physics shift, barriers weaken. Strange might be the only one who understands why something is going wrong. This gives Marvel creative freedom on a scale they've never had before. And you already know what comes next. Hero versus hero conflict. With so many new characters suddenly sharing the same timeline, there is zero chance they all agree on how to handle dangerous cosmic or mutant level threats. Think about it. The Phoenix Force, Scarlet Witch reappearing, the Hulk's destructive potential, mutants with powers beyond anything the Avengers have ever faced. This sets the stage for Avengers vs. X-Men, World War Hulk, Illuminati stories. All of these stories begin with conflict between heroes, moral disagreements, power struggles, and guess who ends up at the center of these arguments? Strange, the man who sees the bigger picture. He becomes the mediator, the historian, the character who understands the consequences of reality-breaking decisions. That's why Strange surviving the reset is so important for narrative structure. Here's something most fans don't know. Marvel's original plan for Doctor Strange 3 already existed, and it involved Clea, Doctor Doom, the Dark Dimension, and a storyline that would have been darker and more mystical than Multiverse of Madness. But Marvel moved that entire storyline into Avengers Doomsday, meaning Doctor Strange 3 is no longer Doctor Strange 3. It's more like Doctor Strange 4, disguised as a third movie that tells you everything. Marvel wants this film to serve a new purpose. Not to wrap up old storylines, but to launch an entirely new era. So what does all of this mean? It means Doctor Strange 3 isn't just another sequel. It's the key to understanding the MCU's future. It's the first chapter of the post-reset universe. It's the movie that sets the rules for everything that comes next. The X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Avenger conflicts, the cosmic threats, the villains arriving from other universes. The new laws of magic, the rewritten histories, everything. This is why Benedict Cumberbatch is staying. This is why Marvel is taking their time. This is why the movie comes after Secret Wars, because Doctor Strange is about to become the MCU's most important character. And honestly, I'm all for it. Before we wrap up, Let me know in the comments. Do you think Doctor Strange should be the one who remembers the old MCU? And what villain do you want to see in Doctor Strange 3? Hit that like button if you made it all the way through, subscribe for more breakdowns, and follow us everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of them. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.